The morphine drip clicks. 3 in the morning. The hospice wing is quiet.
There's a Route 66 map on the wall across from my bed.
Mary put it up last month. Places we marked in red pen 40 years ago. Grand Canyon, Yellowstone, Big Sur. All the places we circled and dreamed about when we couldn't afford a weekend trip. I'm 75, stage 4 pancreatic cancer. But here's what nobody tells you. When you're this close to the end, you start seeing things clearly. Nothing dramatic, just clear. And what I see now is this. I saved all my life for a trip I'll never take. It took me 75 years to understand why. When I was young, really young, 20s and 30s, I had time. I had energy. God, I had energy. I could work a double shift at the construction site, come home, fix the porch, and still have enough left in the tank to take Mary dancing on Saturday night. My body didn't ask permission. It just went. I remember the summer I was 28, and we were building that shopping center off Route 9 in Trenton. 100-degree heat. I worked 10 hours in the sun, came home, showered, and drove 2 hours to Atlantic City because Mary wanted to see the ocean. I didn't think twice about it. That's what you have when you're young. You have time that feels infinite. You have a body that doesn't argue with you. But here's what you don't have. Money. We lived in a one-bedroom apartment above a laundromat. You could hear the dryers going all night. The bathroom ceiling leaked when it rained. We had a car, but it broke down more than it ran. I'd fix it myself in the parking lot because we couldn't afford a mechanic. Every paycheck went somewhere before I even cashed it. Rent, groceries, the electric bill, Mary's student loans. We were always robbing Peter to pay Paul. And I wasn't poor. Not the way my father was poor. But I wasn't comfortable either. I was surviving. We were surviving. And we dreamed. Mary and I had this game. Sunday mornings, we'd spread the newspaper on the kitchen table, the travel section, and pick places. Grand Canyon, she'd say. Yellowstone, I'd say. Big Sur. Glacier National Park. We'd fold the pages and save them in a drawer by the fridge. Someday, we'd say. Someday when we had the money. Someday when we had the time. Someday when things weren't so tight. We had a whole drawer full of someday. And I kept telling myself, just a few more years. Just get through this. Once I make foreman, once we save enough, once we get ahead, then we'll go. Then we'll take that trip. Then we'll live. So I chased it. I worked every hour they offered me, time and a half on Saturdays. He doubled time on Sundays. I said yes to every overtime shift, every extra job, every side gig that came my way. I missed Sarah's dance recital when she was 7. I remember, because Mary called me at the site, and I could hear the disappointment in her voice. She kept looking for you in the audience, Mary said. I told myself I'd make it up to her. I missed Thanksgiving one year because a developer needed a project finished before the weekend and paid triple rate. Mary and Sarah ate grocery store turkey at my mother's house while I poured concrete in the rain. I told myself it was worth it. Told myself I was doing what a man does, providing, securing, making sure my family didn't have to worry the way I worried as a kid. And my body kept up. Sure, my back hurt sometimes. Sure, I had that cough that wouldn't go away one winter. Sure, the doctor said my blood pressure was a little high, but I was fine. I'd deal with it later. Later when I had time. Later when I had money. Later when I wasn't so busy. Later when we'd finally take that trip. Later came. I'm 68, retired, pension coming in, Social Security, the 401k I'd been feeding for 30 years. The house is paid off, bought it outright in 2003, new car in the driveway, savings account that doesn't make me nervous anymore. For the first time in my life, I have money. Real money. Enough money. And I have time. All the time in the world. No alarm clock, no foreman yelling, no deadlines. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. So Mary and I pull out that drawer, the one full of newspaper clippings and circled destinations. We spread them on the kitchen table just like we used to. "Let's do it," Mary says. "Let's finally do it." And I say, "Yeah, let's go." We start planning. Route 66, coast to coast, the Grand Canyon at sunrise, Yellowstone in the fall, Big Sur with the windows down, all those places we'd saved for 40 years. But here's the thing. Nobody tells you when you're 28 and invincible. Your body doesn't wait. My knees don't work right anymore. Haven't for years. Arthritis, the doctor says. Bone on bone. I can barely walk from the car to the grocery store without stopping. My back, the one I ignored for 40 years, needs surgery. 2 herniated discs. Stenosis. The surgeon says it's a coin flip whether the operation will help or make it worse. My heart, enlarged. Arrhythmia. Stents in 2 arteries. I'm on so much medication I rattle when I walk. And the cough I ignored in my 30s. And turns out I'd been breathing in concrete dust and asbestos for decades. My lungs look like Swiss cheese on the X-ray. We buy the RV anyway. It's a 2010 Winnebago, 28 feet, sleeps 4. Cost us $42,000, more than I made in 2 years when I was 30. Mary names it Someday. I make a joke about how we finally made it. She laughs, but it doesn't reach her eyes. The RV sits in our driveway for 2 years. We take it out exactly 3 times. Each trip, I'm exhausted by the second day. Mary tries to hide it, but I can see the worry in her face every time I have to stop and catch my breath. Every time I need to lie down before we've even reached the state line. The 3rd trip, I end up in an ER in Pennsylvania with chest pains. We sell the RV to Sarah the next month. Keep it in the family, I say. Someday sits in her driveway now, gathering dust, waiting for a trip that will never come. I used to think there'd be a middle ground, a sweet spot where I'd have enough money, enough time, and enough health to actually enjoy life. I was wrong. You spend the first half breaking your body to build your future, and then you spend the second half watching that future slip away, because the body you broke can't carry you there. It's not anyone's fault. It's not some cosmic joke. It's just how it is. I don't blame myself. Not really. What was I supposed to do? Not work? Let my family struggle? Live in poverty so I could preserve my health? That's not a choice. That's a fantasy. But still, lying here, I wonder, what if I'd said no a few more times? What if I'd gone to Sarah's recital instead of pouring that concrete? What if we'd taken that trip to Big Sur when we were 30 instead of waiting until we were 68? Would it have made a difference? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe this is just what it means to be human, to always be one step behind what you need. The cancer showed up 2 years ago. Pancreatic. They caught it late. Not because I ignored the symptoms, though I did for a while, but because pancreatic cancer doesn't give you much warning. By the time they found it, it was already stage 3. Spreading. We tried treatment, chemo, radiation, clinical trials. Mary researched everything, took me to appointments, held my hand while I threw up in hospital bathrooms. She never gave up. But I did. Not in a dramatic way, just quietly. Somewhere around month 6, I realized I was dying. Not might die, or could die. Was dying. And honestly, I'm okay with it. Not happy. Not resigned in some noble way. Just okay. I'm tired. My body's been tired for 20 years, and the morphine helps. But it doesn't erase the fact that living hurts now in ways I never imagined when I was 28 and dancing with Mary after a 10-hour shift. The thing I think about most isn't the cancer. It's the little stuff. I think about the summer evenings I could have spent on the porch with Mary instead of working overtime. I think about the road trips we never took because we couldn't afford it then and couldn't manage it later. I think about Sarah asking me to play catch in the yard, and me saying, maybe tomorrow, because I was too tired. Tomorrow came. I just wasn't in it. I'm not writing this to teach anyone anything. I'm not wise. I'm just old. And there's a difference. But if you're young, if you still have that energy, that body that doesn't hurt when you wake up, I'll say this. You won't believe me. Nobody does. I wouldn't have either. But you can't save life for later. You can't put it in a drawer and pull it out when you're ready. It doesn't work that way. I'm not saying don't work. I'm not saying don't plan. I'm not saying throw your life away on impulse. I'm just saying don't wait for the perfect time. There isn't one. Take the trip when you can barely afford it. Go to the recital, even if it means losing the overtime. Dance with your wife on a Tuesday night for no reason, because here's the truth I'm learning at 75. Money can't buy back your knees. Retirement can't restore your lungs. And all the time in the world doesn't mean anything if your body won't let you use it. And the sun's starting to come up. I can see the light changing behind the curtain. The morphine drip clicks. Mary's asleep in the chair next to my bed. She's been here every night for 3 weeks. She'll wake up soon and ask if I need anything. I'll say no. She'll ask anyway. On the wall, Route 66 stares back at me. All those red marks. All those places we never saw. All those some days that never came. I don't want to do it all over. I'm too tired for that. But if I could go back, just once, I'd tell that 28-year-old kid sweating on a construction site in Trenton, don't save the trip for later. Take it now. Take it badly. Take it broke. Just take it.
Because later doesn't wait. The drip clicks. I close my eyes. The map stays on the wall.